Alright, so before we get into the video, we're going to be talking about the Rashid Warren versus Damian Vasquez post-fight review. So Rashid Warren knocks out Damian Vasquez in the second round. And my thoughts on it, man, what a win by Rashid Warren. We did not expect him to come in here and completely, we knew he was going to come in there and completely, outbox him. But we didn't know that he was going to completely outbox him and knock him out like that, man. That was just, even though Damian Vasquez is kind of a bum, not really a good fighter, really just a gatekeeper, but it's still impressive because uh he knocked out Damian Vasquez faster than Brandon Figueroa, and Brandon Figueroa is known to have some power. And Rashid Warren definitely showed that he isn't just like that. He doesn't have feather hands. That he can really punch. What a win by Rashid Warren! I would really like to see him fight somebody like Lee McGregor, maybe a rematch with Nordine Nubali, maybe Angelo Leo. I think that would actually be a very good fight. I think that would be honestly a very very good fight. Somebody like that. I think that he needs to get somebody like that, or maybe Michael Conlon, something like that. But and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna be like 100% with you. I think the next fight for him is probably gonna be Angelo Leo. I just think that fight's gonna happen. Both fighters came off of good wins. Angelo Leo coming off a good win against um Alameda, and then Rashid Warren coming off a good win against Damian Vasquez. You know, that would be a very, very good fight. Would make sense. But man, dude, it would be a great fight. But anyways, on to the video. Hey, what's up, y'all? Press the Fight Media 360 here. So this is a quick preview and prediction for Mark Magsayo versus Julio Ceja. So before we get into all this, I just want to say this fight will be taking place also on the card or the undercard of Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. So if you guys want to watch this fight, it will be on Fox on pay-per-view. And again, if you want to watch it, you can pay for it on cable if you want, or if you don't have cable, you can just pay for it on Fight TV if you want to watch it. But yeah. But now we got that out the way, so now let's talk about the odds and then what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So Mark Magsayo is listed as a negative 430 favorite over Julio Ceja. So yeah. So now we got that out the way, so now let's talk about what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So let's start off with the favorite, Mark Magsayo. So what I would like to see from Mark Magsayo is I'm not that impressed of him. Like for these last few years, you should have beat that one guy very convincingly. I would really like to see him kind of like practice more on his boxing because he likes to box and he likes to scrap. But when he tries to box, it's quite sloppy. And when you're gonna fight a guy like Julio Ceja, that's a really good idea to do, is to try to box. But he also needs to be aggressive. But he really needs to like the key to victory on this is the jab and the counter, because because Julio Ceja does get hit by a lot of counters, and he has got knocked out like 3 times out of his 4 losses. Not so he does have the best chin in the world, but he definitely needs to use his jab. That's definitely the key. But whenever Julio Ceja is throwing punches at you, which most likely he is gonna do, I like Mark Magsayo needs to start throwing punches also, you know, harder shots and stuff like that. But he really needs to also, but mainly he really needs to practice on his boxing, because that last performance was very ugly. He wasn't landing a lot of shots. I mean, he was landing shots, but he was really trying to land that straight right or something like that against that one guy. But it was just not landing a whole lot. But in this fight, like it should land, but he needs to be more accurate with the punches instead of super sloppy, you know, because like he needs like again use more of a jab and then and then come out with the hook. Cause like I feel like he tries to be kind of like a Manny Pacquiao a little too much. So he definitely just needs to be him and try to box how he does and not try to be like others, you know. But he really just needs to land that shot on Julio Ceja, and really try to hurt Ceja and really hit the body of Ceja because Ceja leaves his body very open, like extremely open, his body he is quite out he isn't usually in the best shape. Good cardio, but he like does like he is a body beautiful, so he needs to like really hit the body of Ceja and really try to like hit that body of Ceja and slow Ceja down so he could slow so then Ceja's punches are slowing down, and then that's when he can start unleashing with punches and try to look for the stoppage. Because both of these guys have pretty good cardio. I would say that Mark Magsayo has better cardio, but they both not better cardio, but in better shape. Um, but he really just needs to like do that is when you really tear up the body of Ceja, and then he starts slowing down with his punches and really not throwing that hard, just throwing slow. That's when you start like unleashing to the head and then to the body and try to like land those really hard shots and try to look for the stoppage. So that's what Mark Magsayo needs to do to win. So yeah. So now for the underdog, Julio Ceja. So what I'd like to see from Ceja is I would like to see him kind of just do what he does and be a pressure fighter. And like he likes to like kind of like be on your shoulder a lot. He throws a lot of punches, but he does like to stop a little bit and like leave his head quite open so somebody can hit him. He definitely needs to like throw more punches and use a head movement in there. Because if he can use head movement in there and also be the more volume puncher in the fight, he can most definitely win this fight. But he definitely needs to at least use some head movement, because you don't want to try to get hit by Magsayo. I mean, Magsayo carries like some power, you know. So he definitely doesn't want to try to get caught by Magsayo, because Magsayo, yeah, again, he carries some power. So Julio Ceja definitely needs to be, again, the more volume puncher. Just be aggressive, throw more punches in this fight. He throws a lot of punches, obviously, but you know what I mean when he kind of like puts his shoulder on you and then he kind of like throws punches, but then he kind of waits for a little bit. I want to see him just unleash with punches and then use head movement in there and then just start just brawling with Maxeo. So that's what Julio Ceja needs to do to win. So yeah. So my final prediction for this fight, oh my gosh, dude. This is such a tough fight to predict, man. Like, I was going back and forth who I was predicting, man. This is tough. But you guys want a prediction. I'm not super confident on this, but I'm going to lean more towards Julio Ceja by a very, very, very close split decision. I just think that I just think that the volume punching of him would just like be not too much, but I just think he would just always be a step ahead. He can get caught in the fight, you know, but I honestly think that he's actually gonna drop. I honestly think that he's gonna drop Magsayo. I think they're both actually gonna drop each other. But then again, I just think that Julio Ceja is just gonna be the guy that's gonna be the guy who's gonna be the more volume puncher, throwing more punches against Magsayo. Because Magsayo does throw punches, but like not as much as Julio Ceja, and also Julio Ceja has a lot more experience at being in the higher level. He fought people like Guillermo Rigondeaux, which he was actually dominating that fight. But then he just got caught by Rigo and got knocked out. but he was very close from winning that fight. Like it was like he was literally winning almost about every single round in that fight. And then he after that he had a draw against the heartbreaker Brandon Figueroa, who is a very very tough fighter and a very young promising fighter, and he had a draw against it, which a lot of people thought that he won, including me. I did think that he did enough to win that fight. And then also he fought Hugo Ruiz twice. He beat Hugo the first time. I believe he stopped him, and then the second time Hugo stopped him in the first round, I think. But he just has a lot more experience at fighting in the higher level than Mark Magsayo. So that's why I pick Julio Ceja to win this fight by a very close split decision. So yeah. So that's my final prediction. I got Julio Ceja by a very close split decision. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston from Fight Media 360, and thank y'all for watching this video. Also, again, this week, I'm not going to be doing any fantasy fights this week, and probably for the rest of the month, probably. Maybe for the next month, too. I just need really, it's just, I've been very, very busy, with moving and stuff like that. But I'm definitely gonna start doing it. Definitely, I'm definitely gonna do it again. But just not right now, and it's probably not gonna be recent or anything like that. So if you guys were looking forward for this week, I strongly apologize. Just there's been a lot, for moving and stuff like that. So I really need to pay attention to this, and I can't really think of any fantasy fights right now. But yeah.